Alright everybody, I'm doing something a little different here. I'm in my album in Lightroom called A New Adventure, which all of these have already been worked on a little bit, but what I did is I went through the first, I think, 3 and just reset it to the original. So I can actually show you from beginning to end, like, what it looks like when I first take the picture and load it up in Lightroom before I edit it, and then the final result from beginning to end. So that is what is going to happen. Alright, so I'm going to start with this one right here at the bottom. Nice muddy river through a little tree clearing area thing, whatever you want to call it. Okay, anyway. Alright, normally I told you I would most of the time just click the auto, see if it, you know, looks any better or looks good or whatever. So from the beginning, this isn't too bad of a picture. It seems a little bit bright. Got some bright greens, some dark greens. I got a lot of shadows. You know, but this area right in here, I'm not sure if you can see my little pointer right here, where there's waves and ripples and whatever. It seems pretty bright, and then back here it's really dark. So I'm going to just hit the auto and see what it does, and then go from there. So okay, here we click the auto. Did it do anything? Okay, let's see if it'll let me do the before and after here. Okay, before, after, before. Okay, so it didn't really do a whole lot there. So I guess it's a good picture. Yay. No. I'm going to, let's go to color. Maybe warm it up a little bit here. Ooh, wow, okay. Just kidding. See, if we take it down and cool it down a little bit, it gets blue, really, really blue, and it looks sort of not good. At least in my opinion. But here's where it was. This, I don't know. Let's see. Sorry, I'm moving it up and down a lot so I can see the drasticness. I don't think I want it too warm. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it right there then. Which I don't know how up or down that went, but really not much, I think. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna leave everything else there where it's at. So yeah, the auto settings didn't change the exposure at all. Brought the contrast up 6 points. Brought the highlights way down. And the shadows, okay. Yeah, so it lightened up the shadows a good bit, looks like, excuse me. So it did, I guess it did do a little bit, you know. The whites, took away the whites a little bit. The blacks, -13. Now, see, when it says negative, here, I'm going to show you exactly. I'm not good at explaining things, so I'm just going to show you the difference between So if I take the blacks into the positive, it makes it a lot brighter. It just lightens up those blacks, right? And take it back into the negative, it darkens it up a little bit, right? There, see? Alright, so let's put it back where it was. Negative 13. There we go. Alright. So, I guess that's pretty good. Let's see, if I was to bring up the exposure any, if I can maneuver. See, it makes it a lot brighter, and it's pretty harsh. And if I was to take away exposure, it just takes away everything, right? So that's why the auto settings just left it where it was, because it was good exposure, thankfully. Which is one reason that I have started to shoot in manual, because all I have to do is lightly press the shutter button, and it'll show me what the exposure is by a little dial on my camera screen, and you know, I just have to adjust it based on that. So that's what shooting in manual, it really benefits from that, or however you want to say it. I don't know, whatever, you get the point. Alright, so back on track. Highlights are down 66. It took out a lot of well, I'm just going to show you what it did. If you can notice, in the water, those bright elements, yeah, it just took out the brightness a good bit, that shiny, where the sun is just hitting really harsh on that water, and it just dumbs it down a little bit, so you can actually see the detail in the waves and the ripples in the water, instead of just seeing bright lights. Anyway, sorry, I'm in dork mode today. Alright, so moving on. I already did colors. Okay, I want to play with color a little more. I can remember. Ha, here it is. Okay, I'm going to play with these greens a little bit and see what it does. Okay, so if I bring down the hue, I'm trying to notice the difference here. Sorry. Okay, I've got it at negative 28 right now. If I bring it, oh, there it goes. Yeah, okay. Makes it more yellow instead of green, right? More on the yellow spectrum than the deep green. Okay, so if I want to darken those greens, make them a little more rich, I'm going to bring that up just to at 14 there. I think I like that. Alright. Okay, so let's see the before. Maybe. Okay, let's see the before. Okay, this is before, and that's after. It's not too much of a difference, but it does add a good bit of deeper green over in this left side here, with those bright leaves. Alright, and if I bring up the saturation, down negative 33, right? So I'm not gonna, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing around at this point. When you use the saturation, color mix right now. It's just messing with the saturation of those greens. Any green in the picture, which this picture is mostly green. But let's double click that, make it go back to 0. But yeah, it's just messing with those greens. If I were to go to the overall saturation, it would do that to all the colors. Like if I were to click over on the reds, anything red with a red tone or whatever, that's what I would mess with. But it's mostly green. Let's maybe play with the yellows. See if that does anything, because I like to experiment sometimes. Oh yeah. Yeah, that does something. Wow, okay. I might like that. Well, no. I mean, at first I did like it, but then I looked at the water and I was like, eh. No, I don't like that, because it turns... Ooh. That makes the water look very strange, and I don't like it. Okay, so... I really don't like that brown water, but there's really nothing I can do about that. Because this was after, like, days of rain. But anyway, I need to stay on track here. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that where it is. I've got some nice rich greens there, so I'm gonna click done. And I'm going to go back over to the lighting and play around some more since we changed those greens. I don't know what I want to do. If I take down the whites, it takes a lot of the color, like, it darkens it up a little bit. Which I'm not really sure I want to do too much of. Let's see what that does. Oh, whoa, I'm not trying to zoom in here, bro. Bro. Okay, there we go. Trying to see before. Okay, this is the before. It looks pretty plain comparatively now. Before, after. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'm going to leave that one there. See, it really didn't take a whole lot. You know, I hit the auto settings and it did a pretty good job. I just tweaked a couple things here and there, and it came out pretty good. So again, not a lot of effort has to go into some of these pictures because they come out pretty good in camera, thankfully. Which, I mean, a lot of people would say, hey, you know, what skill does it take to click a button on a camera? It doesn't take a lot of skill to click a button on a camera, but to see things worth taking a picture of, or, I mean, a lot of people have told me, oh, I would never think to take a picture of that. Like, yeah, you know, you see it and it's really pretty, but it's usually like, oh yeah, that's pretty, okay. But when you take a picture of it, it comes out a certain way because of the vision that person taking the picture sees, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to this next picture. This, I like, it's a little weird because you have, two trees on either side that are very close and they're slightly blurred. But I did that because it's basically framing up the picture with that little tree right in the middle, with the rocks in the background. And you see that tree in the slight background right there with the orange on it. And the orange paint. It framed it up so nicely. And I was like, oh, this is great. I love the way this looks. So, what the hell? I'm going to take a picture of it. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Hit the auto settings, blah, blah, blah. Alright. Alright, hitting auto. Oh, that darkened it up. Don't know if anyone noticed how dark that got. Oh yeah, that darkened it up 4. And after. Ow, now my eyeball itches. Okay, let's look and see what it did. Ow, my eye. Okay, alright, so it took down the exposure just a tiny, tiny bit. So, yeah, it darkened it up. It added a little bit of contrast. Took away some of those harsh highlights. So yeah, you can see the little spots of sunlight shining through in certain areas, and this area in the background isn't so harsh and so bright. It is still pretty bright, but it's not quite as harsh as it was. Okay, and took away some of those shadows, which I said in my last video, I think. I love playing with shadows. Happy. Certain lighting and shadowing, it just, I don't know, it might sound weird, but it's my reasons for loving photography, just being able to play with shadows and light, and it just creating something that some people might not see. Like, it just, anyway, okay, so we've got the shadows at 35, positive 35, or just whatever you want to freaking call it. Let's play with the shadows a little bit. We're at 35 right now with the auto settings. So I'm going to bring them down. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Back to 35. Okay, that's 35. And if I just zoom that down to negative 35. See, you see the difference there. From negative to positive, positive to negative, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna just hold this down. See, that's the original, right? No, that's straight out of camera, just uploaded to Lightroom, right? Okay, I let go. And so, like, you can see those little spots of light even more when I brought those shadows down to negative 35 as opposed to positive 35. And I think it just adds more depth to it. I don't know. I'm gonna go and put it back up. And see, I mean, it brings out, I don't know, I think I like it darker as opposed to brighter. Maybe not so much as the 35. Let's see, maybe 30. Yes, well, 29, whatever, okay. Picky. Anyway, yeah, I think I like it in the negative as opposed to the positive. I like darker shadows in a lot of things. That light on top there is still really bright and somewhat bothersome. So I'm going to play with the whites now and see what that does. Okay, if I go up, it brightens it up a whole lot and it just looks terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it down Down, down, down. And that makes it a little dull, doesn't it? I don't know. Let's do the before and after again. Maybe. Okay. Oh, yeah. Before. After. It makes it darker. Oh, it's noticeably darker. Let's see. Before, after. I might. Let's tweak that a little more. Let's go back. Okay, this is at 0 on the whites. Okay, bring it up, and it makes that top edge and that big bright spot even brighter. I'm not sure I like that. I want to darken it up a little bit. Don't know why I like things so dark. Yeah, I think I'll just make it a small -7 there. Alright, let's play around. Let's see what we can do with the black. If we bring it up, it takes a lot of those shadows out again. So, oh wow, that's dramatic. It's sort of pretty though. Don't know if I want it that dramatic, so I'm gonna bring it back up a good bit. Alright. We're at -20. What was it at before? Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. Before, after. Before, after. Okay, so that's the, what was on? Oh yeah, light. Duh. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to the color. Oh wow, the temp is really cool on this one, so I think I'm gonna warm it up and maybe change the mood on it a little bit. Let's just... Okay, so this is... The temp as shot is 42K. 4200, excuse me. Alright, so I'm just going to take it up a little bit. Okay, I said a little bit, not a lot of bit. Okay, that's 4325. Let's do it before and after again. Before, after. Wait, what? Oh yeah, okay. That's a little warmer. That's not bad. Okay. Got the tint more towards purple in this. Let me take that back. Oh wow, that brings out that green a lot. Holy cow, you can see the moss on the roots in the ground and the rocks, and wow, that brightened up that dark photo that I just created. Yeah. Okay, this is a before again, after, deep greens. Yeah, I like that. Huh. Okay. Well then. Gonna leave the other stuff where it's at. And move on to effects. I don't think I need to mess with the texture or clarity. I am going to dehaze. Dehaze is my friend. Oof. Okay. See, if I go in the negative, that's what it does. Ooh, whoa, that's weird. Wow, that is weird. Like, most of it is, like, really foggy, but then there are certain spots that are just extremely clear. That is strange. I've never seen it do that. Okay. Now, moving on, let's go back to, positive and clear it up a good bit. Alright, I don't want to do too much. Let's go 8. Yeah. That's nice and crisp and not foggy at all. That was really strange. I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool, though. New effect to try out. Yay! Okay, moving on. Before and after. Alright, I think that's about all I'm gonna mess with on this one. So, the video has become pretty long, and it might be pretty boring. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. I did have that next photo that was back to original as well, but I'm going to cut this off because I made this a little too long. So, oh, well, thanks for listening and watching my editing techniques, or however you want to word that, whatever. If you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. I'm at 17 subscribers as of this recording. If you know anybody that likes photography, or might be interested in the goofiness that is me editing pictures, tell them about my channel, and I also have my Patreon. You know, that's what I love doing, so that's what I'm doing. But if you could just spread the word, you know, subscribe, hit the freaking bell thing for notifications and whatever, like the video, all that good jazz, you know, things that unnecessarily need to be said. So, yeah, once again, thanks.